Hello, welcome to Apparitions and Alibis. My name is AJ Stallman and I'll be your host. This is episode 4 and my dogs are playing obnoxiously loud. Excuse them. I would like to take this moment to formally thank my partner Ashton and I guess Dino, since he's being so boisterous, for making me look super official, even though y'all can't see me. But she's gifted me a microphone. It's rose gold and absolutely perfect. So shout out to Ashton for making me feel cool. Ooh, maybe I'll give it a little photo shoot and post it on Instagram. So episode 2 was our last spooky encounter that took place in Williamsburg. For this episode, we're not... Guys! Thank you. For this episode, we are going not far from Williamsburg, heading to Yorktown, Virginia. The particular area we are discussing today is notorious for not only paranormal happenings, but true crime as well. I have my coffee. I have my dogs, obviously. I have my bagel. Let's do this. In Yorktown, Virginia, there is a bridge. It's a decent bridge. It looks bridgy. It's a nice stone bridge over a 2-lane street adorned with graffiti and possibly some ivy. But this bridge has some rough history and some paranormal experiences that date back centuries. Supposedly, it is one of the most haunted areas in the state of Virginia. It looks pretty normal, so why is it that locals seem to stay away from this road? Unfortunately, there isn't a crystal clear answer. Just a weird list of happenings and a couple of skeletal remains. One of the most popular legends is about a bride and her unhappy day. Years ago, it is said that there was a woman who was to be married. Not enthralled with the idea, the bride-to-be decided the best way out was to end her own life. She utilized the bridge and hung herself. Even though it's been a while, roughly since the 1930s, many people have claimed to have seen an apparition keeping near the bridge. More recently, there was a woman driver under the bridge. She reported to see a woman standing on top of the bridge wearing a white gown. When the driver looked in the rear view after she passed under the bridge, she saw the figure leap from the structure. As spooked as she was, she noticed that there was never the figure hitting the ground. Instead, the apparition began to sway back and forth in midair, as if to be hanging. Some believe that the KKK possibly utilized the bridge for secret meetings and maybe even lynchings. Others say it was an area used for satanic rituals and offerings of sacrifice. If this is correct, that means the bridge has seen hundreds of deaths. But with the stories of seeing numerous hanging apparitions, maybe there's some truth to it. It is said when under the bridge, one can hear disembodied voices, whispers, cries, and screams are all known to come out of thin air. Very disturbing. If you decide to use this road, be very cautious. There are many accounts of car stalling and CDs mysteriously skipping as the driver goes under the bridge. Who uses CDs anymore? Hundreds of car accidents have happened on Crawford Road as well. One story tells of a man who drove under the bridge when his car was completely shut off. The car's battery has died 100%, and he had to be towed out. Another story tells of a group of friends who drove down Crawford Road one night towards the bridge. While driving down the road, they joked and laughed and sang songs from their brand new CD. Everything was fine until they reached the bridge. All of a sudden, the track they were listening to let out a high-pitched shriek sound. The noise lasted for about 10 seconds until they were far enough away from the bridge. Then the noise stopped and the CD played normal. Oddly enough, the noise is still embedded on the CD and can be heard when it is played. So, manufacturer error or upset spirits annoyed by happy teenagers. Either way, that particular group of friends didn't return to the bridge. Let's talk about another group of friends who were feeling spicy and went down to Crawford Road. Everything was fine until they got to the bridge. While they were driving, they felt as though they had hit something in the road. So, like everybody, they got out of the car to investigate. But nothing was there. Weirded out, they wanted to get back into the car and continue on. However, when they got in, the windows in the car began to fog up, and handprints could be seen making their way up the window from the outside. Shocked and confused, they could only keep driving. But as they did, they began to hear thuds all around the car. The first thud came from the top of the windshield, and then the top of the car, and then a thud on the trunk. Either something had fallen on top of the car, or something was trying to get in. Soon the thud stopped, and something started smearing down the back window. It slid until it fell off and hit the road. The friends got out, like geniuses, and checked to see what it was, but nothing was there. Because of the many deaths surrounding the bridge, drivers report seeing apparitions standing in the middle of the road. This causes people to swerve off the road in fear of hitting someone, only to have no one there when they looked behind. Or even worse, the driver meeting a sudden death. It is said that when you travel along the road during the day, you will see skid marks as well as random car bits and bobs scattered along the roadside from all the accidents that have happened there. The bridge has fencing on either side and is surrounded by woods. Within the woods is allegedly a house with no doors. If you are to find this home and look inside, it is said that red eyes will appear in one of the doorways. People say they usually see them coming from the door all the way down to the far right. These eyes watch you as you move around, but if you get too close, they will vanish before you. Those who have entered states that the atmosphere is eerie, and you sense more than one being looking at you. On film, apparitions have been caught walking back and forth along the wall with no regard for the laws of physics. Beyond seeing apparitions and red eyes, several individuals have reported hearing voices whisper inside the house, their feet being stepped on, and hands being placed upon their backs. Apparitions are best seen on moonless nights. But with these possible paranormal stories come true ones as well. On January 30th, 1990, a man by the name of James Johnson went missing after trying to sell his Mercedes-Benz to a J.C. Giles. Johnson met the man at the Omni Hotel in Newport News the day before, but the man said he wanted to ensure that his wife liked the car before he bought it. The next day, the men meet again, and that's the last time Johnson was seen alive. On February 6, 1990, a crew cutting trees hanging in the road after an ice storm found Johnson's body in the woods. He had been shot once, his wrists were handcuffed, and his legs were bound together. An episode of America's Most Wanted in 1993 was what finally helped the case. The suspect was identified as Juanito Edwards. He was later sentenced to 2 life terms plus 22 years in prison. Local authorities believe Edwards was also connected to the crime of Tanya Lane, but he was never convicted. Tanya Lane was last seen on June 5, 1989, when she dropped off her son at a babysitter's house. It wasn't until February 2, 1991, that she was found with a gunshot wound. The distance between Lane and Johnson's bodies was less than half a mile apart. Lane's death seemed to be related to a murder she witnessed in New York, where she had testified against Edwards' brother at a murder trial. In 1996, another body, that of Langley Airman Eric Nesbitt, was found at the intersection of Tower and Crawford Roads. Two men, Darrell Akins and William Jones, were convicted of robbing him and shooting him 8 times. Both men are now serving life in prison. In March 2000, the body of 19-year-old Sean Monty Mabry was found beaten in the woods a short distance from Crawford Road. To this day, an iron stake marks the spot where he died. Monty's killers were identified as Chad Patrick O'Hanley and John Morris Wolford. They were convicted of beating and murdering Monty in a Buck Row home. The fourth death on Crawford Road involves a 19-year-old Austin Baxley, whose death was planned by 25-year-old Amina Washington and 22-year-old Julian Rios. They are both behind bars but have given no information as to why they killed Austin. So whether it be a sad bride, twisted cults, sacrificial alterings, or the heartbreak of murders, there's definitely something off with Crawford Road and its bridge. If you have ever had any experiences, please follow us on Instagram at Apparitions and Alibis and let us know what you've seen or felt. I would love to know. Make sure you follow us so you know all about the upcoming episodes. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you're having a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever time it is where you are, and I will talk to you soon. Peace out.